let's try this new Makeup Forever HD Skin Hydra Glow Hydrating Foundation with Hyaluronic Acid. It comes with a pump, which is great, and you can get this at Sephora right now for $47. There is also a mini size that is 0.4 ounces. The big one is 1 ounce, and you can get that one for $22, but it's online only, and it's only a few shades. Okay, so let's give this a good try on my hand. The color that I got is the lightest color, which is 1N00 Alabaster. It is a perfect color for me, so let's give it a try. It's available in 32 shades, which is a great shade range, and I have to say there's not as many of the really light shades, but this one actually seems to work really well for me. This is supposedly really good for dry, combo, and normal skin. And it states that it is good for uneven texture. Well, that's definitely one of my issues, so we'll have to test that out. There is a bit of a scent to it, but it's not terribly strong and it's not unpleasant, so it's all right. And it doesn't linger for too terribly long, so that's good. Okay, so now my skin, I'm 48, I have been on Accutane. I'm off Accutane right now so that I can do some lasers, and I do have texture, so I definitely want to address that. I'm hoping that this will look good on that. And I also have oily skin again now. Now, it's not as oily as it was before, but you know, by about 3 or 4 hours, I always have a lot of oily breakthrough. So we'll see how this one wears. The finish is very glowy so far. I'm going to try and work it in with this brush to see if I can kind of get some of that shininess down, because it really makes it look extra textured on me. I'm noticing that underneath my studio lights, the reflection is almost metallic. That's usually not a good sign for me, because it usually means it's going to accentuate texture. So still very glowy. Didn't make much progress with the brush. The other side is me without, that's with. I don't know. I am so far really not liking how this applies. It's got a viscosity to it. It sort of drags, and I'm seeing it really pick up a lot of texture and shine on my areas that need help. Like right there, I have some acne to cover there, and it's given me hives here. All right, so let's get the stands out sponge, see if I can like remove a little bit of it, tamp it down a little bit. I've gotten some good coverage from this, but in order for me to feel comfortable wearing it, I have to remove some of the coverage. I would say this is medium to light coverage to start. I have to remove some of it with my stands out sponge just to make it a little less like crazy glowy on me. Okay, what I'm really not liking is how this feels on my skin. That's where you're seeing the reaction. It actually, in the camera, doesn't look that bad, but it feels sticky. You see, and the smell is still there. It does fade later, but I don't know. This is a $47 like glowy foundation. Let's look at it up close. These are my texture areas. I'm hoping to address them with laser here pretty soon, but I definitely don't want a foundation that is going to accentuate those areas. I mean, it's normal to have those areas, but you know, why are you going to pay $47 to like accentuate those areas? Okay, so I'm going to use my Givenchy Prisme Libre. Oh my god, I know I butchered that, but they gave it a terrible name. I'm gonna use my powder. This is my favorite powder. This is the best one for really tamping down any kind of texture, shine, any of that, and leaving it looking pretty. Okay, so here's what it looks like. 0 hour. I'm powdered. Jeez, man. Hold on, I need a little more powder on this. It is just, it probably doesn't look that bad to you right now. I can tell you, oops, extra powder there, that in person, I can tell this is not going to work for me. I have an appointment I need to go to, and I am embarrassed on how this is going to look in person with people. I'm going to do the wear test anyway, but you know how you can just tell when you first apply certain ones, it's like, no, this one so far is no. So I'm gonna take one for the team because this is $50 and I know a lot of people are gonna run out and want to get it. Ugh. I will let you know, but I don't think this is, I don't like this one so far. I don't like it at all. It's like really, really reflective. I've got it powdered so it's not sticky anymore, but it somehow still on my skin feels sticky. So we will have to see how this wears. I will definitely be checking in and let you know. But right out of the gate, I don't like the way it looks on my skin. I'm having trouble trying to cover up some of the acne that I'm having. It's making it look worse, and my usual cover up methods aren't working for some reason. I keep like going back and forth with powder and cover up, and it's just like, it just doesn't look good. Anyway, okay, that's enough rambling on. I don't have high hopes for this. I will give you the check-ins throughout the day and let you know whether this is a smash or pass. I'm thinking it's a big fat pass so far. All right, let's go. Okay, this is 1 hour into wearing it. I am out in my car, obviously, and you can see some of the texture is accentuated, but it's not terrible. Yeah, I mean, it's about like it was when I first applied it. From a distance, it's not bad. This is also 1 hour, and this is in front of a window. So, I mean, like, this in just normal everyday living, it looks glowy, pretty. I do have a highlighter on, but I mean, you can see on my forehead, I don't have a highlighter there. So it's still very pretty at this point. Okay, this is 2 hours in, and I'm in front of my studio lights, so you can actually see that more metallic kind of bounce back, which really picks up texture and I don't think is super flattering. It makes me look like I'm oilier than I actually am. Okay, so here's 4 hours in front of the same window, and I think it's still looking pretty good. The same areas are showing the same amount of sort of, you know, bounce back. I have noticed my forehead's getting a little oily though, so yeah, here it comes. Okay, so at 5 hours, we officially have oily breakthrough in all the areas, and a little bit of it's worn off around my nose, so you see a little more redness. This is pretty normal. Most of them do this on me, but I would really want to powder at this point, but I'm not going to. Okay, 7 hours. Pretty glowy at this point, but for me, this is real normal. It actually held up glowy wise pretty well. I'm gonna do one more check-in later, but I mean, I really want to touch this up. Like, I wouldn't go out like this normally, but we're testing it. So, all right. Okay, so this is the next morning. I didn't do another check-in because it just got worse from there. I mean, you could kind of see where we were going with it. I put it on lighter this morning. I didn't put as much skincare underneath, and I would say the application is definitely better and lighter, but you know, it still does want to pick up on those texture areas. And I cannot figure out for the life of me why I would spend $47 on something that is going to make my texture worse. Final thoughts on this foundation is it's awfully hard for me to justify a $48 foundation that is not, it doesn't perform as well as, in my opinion, as some of my more like $14 ones. The Makeup Revolution Skin Silk one that I just tried, I think is a much better foundation. It doesn't have that viscosity. It has a little bit more coverage. It's very similar in the finish, however, it doesn't sit in your pores and really look makeup-y and accentuate your pores. This one reminds me a little bit more of the About Face one, where it has a slightly metallic finish to it, and that finish catches pores. And although it can be very, very pretty, especially from a distance, when you get up close, it's makeup-y looking. And I don't think that that is something that at my age, I really am gonna reach for or want. The other thing is, I don't like any kind of foundations that have sort of drag to them, where I feel like it kind of, you gotta like push it into your skin. I like the ones that sort of glide over your skin. are real easy to put on with a brush or your fingers. I am not a makeup sponge user for the most part, so I just don't think that this is one for me. And I really think that there are better options for a lot cheaper that have a very similar finish. So my overall thoughts on this one is pass, mostly because of the price and how it lasts. I will say it did not break up. The worst ones are the ones that like stipple and break up with your natural oils. I'm gonna have natural oils. All of mine are going to have that oily breakthrough, especially towards the end of the night. It's just a matter of how it breaks up. And this one did break up in a nice, fairly even way. If I had powdered my T-zone throughout the day, I think it would have looked fine. However, just like that About Face one, the more powder you add, the more makeup-y it looks and the more cakey it gets towards the end of the day. So when you feel like you have to keep doing that, you're automatically going to end up with a cakier result. So I think if you have oily skin or if you have texture, this one is probably not a first choice. I was really hoping it would, I don't know, I was hoping it would be sort of like the Makeup Revolution one where it was very serum-y and slick and thin, and it is thin, but it's got some sort of viscosity. I don't know if it's oils or what it is in it, but that drag, it just catches in absolutely any texture that you have. So definitely not my first choice. Glad I tried it. Hopefully this helps you guys. If you have any other questions about it, let me know. But this one is a pass for me, especially for the price. All right, hope that helps, and I will see you guys in the next video.